to Barbell Therapy. I am your host. I am Kate. I am so excited to be here with you today. I honestly can't believe this is episode number 6, which means this podcast has been out for 6 weeks. And I said this in the initial podcast, right? I have been trying to do this for several years. I bought a bunch of equipment and ended up selling it like a year ago and then buying just this microphone, which I ended up using for like other things, and then was like, you know what? I'm going to start a podcast. And then through this experience, I ended up realizing that my computer needed some upgrading too. So I ended up spending some more money on a new computer, which we don't love that, but here we are. So today's episode, I am first going to go through like the top things that my most successful clients are doing and kind of how we're doing that, and just walk you through like what the most successful people that I work with in weight loss are doing right now. And then I actually want to jump into our therapy topic for today, which is talking about not letting your situation or things that have happened to you make you a shitty person. I really think that is something that I am really excited to dive into, because not just in the sense that feel like I've had a lot of people in my life just kind of take this, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, and do that. But I think that just like ultimately it will help you really reframe your mind and get yourself in gear in a lot of ways. So let's jump right into it. So a couple of things that my clients are doing, like what we do in my program and what is making my clients successful. Key components: making sure that we're getting daily movement. So we have a step goal or a movement goal every single day. We track our water, and they are consistent and they are on their water game. That looks different for everybody depending on the phase that they're in. Somewhere between 100 ounces to 128 ounces a day is like the sweet spot that I like my clients to be in. Water is really essential. Okay, so let's just like break that down. Water is incredibly essential because it does a lot of things for the body. First of all, on the outside, water will help clear up your skin complexion. It will help with your hair growth. It will help with so many things like physically appearing on your body, like literally so many things, okay? The thing that it really does is help us internally. Our organs need a certain amount of oxygen in order to operate at a high level. One of the ways that we get that oxygen and that really good O2 to our bodies and our organs is through our bloodstream. Yes, when we breathe in, obviously we are breathing in O2. Our body takes that in and takes it through our blood and it delivers it to our organs. However, drinking ample amounts of water will also help that process. So literally drinking water is going to help your heart and your lungs and everything function at a better rate. It will help your digestive system, and it will help ultimately move things along inside of the digestive system if that is something that you are struggling with. Now, obviously, water timing can be really important based on like if you're a teacher and you just don't have the opportunity to go to the bathroom all day. So like, what does that look like for you? Or if you're exercising, or when you're eating food, you don't want to drink gallons of water while you're eating your food. Okay. So these are things that are incredibly essential that my clients are doing that are making them successful in weight loss. The next thing that we really focus on is sleep. So I have started doing a routine audit where basically I'm taking your morning and your evening routine and I'm helping you craft it so that we can get better sleep. We can make sure that we're doing things that are setting us up for success for the day, depending on like where you're struggling. So if you're someone that needs to journal, but you can't find the time, or maybe we need to exercise in the morning, but our morning routine is just taking too long, whatever that's going to look like for you, we audit that, we understand what's going on, and I'm going to help you craft a routine that will actually help you go to bed earlier or whatever it is to make sure that we're getting ample amounts of sleep, because it is so important. And this is honestly something that I have changed over the last couple months. I have been more and more and more on top of my sleep game, and the difference that it makes in like small things like my daily weigh-ins or my ability to remember things on the daily basis. Like I noticed that my cognitive function is literally impacted when I have 8+ hours of sleep versus 6 to 7 hours of sleep, etc. It is incredible when you stop and you really think about like how much sleep you're getting or the low sleep that you got in comparison to like maybe some higher sleeps that you have gotten. That is incredible. The next thing on the list is we are tracking all of our food, and that's incredibly important. Macros are important, but a point of emphasis that has come across in this program right now is our daily fiber intake. And the reason this is important is because, yes, we're getting a certain amount of carbs in, but our daily fiber intake actually dictates the quality of the carbs that we are getting in. And it will help us ultimately, again, like move things along, pass things, but really allow the body to process, break things down, and get rid of things in the colon and like making sure that we're actually shedding body fat and things like that. Like fiber plays a vital role in your day. And again, this is a change that I have made to the program this year, and it has definitely helped my clients in a substantial way. So my people that are taking care of understanding like everything that they're tracking and what they're eating and making sure that we are sticking to a higher fiber diet is so much better. The next thing is exercise. And now, when I say exercise, I don't mean like, oh, my clients that are exercising the most are the most successful. What I mean is my clients that are being intentional with their exercise, they're not just their daily movements and maybe their step goal, but literally like their workouts or their runs or whatever it is that we're doing. If they are executing the plan and not overdoing it or underdoing it, those are the ones that are being the most successful. And this looks different, vastly different from everybody. I have clients that work out 2 days a week, and I have clients that are working 4 to 5 days a week. Okay. It totally depends on you, your goals, and your body type, and like what we can do. If you're in a state where you're unable to recover from things, we cannot have you working out 5 to 6 times a week. If you are someone who needs a lot of extra movement and can recover quickly because they don't have a ton of high stress in their body, then yeah, we can probably have you working out more frequently throughout the week. But the people that execute the goals and the exercise plan that is put in front of them, those are the ones that are the most successful, the ones that are not overdoing it or underdoing it. Honestly, this is a key and a game changer when it comes to results. And the last one, this one is incredibly important, okay? Communication. And I know that sounds so silly, but my most successful clients, we are messaging every single day. They're messaging me that they're going out to dinner and sending me menus and asking me for help for picking a menu. They're texting me pictures of their food and asking me for help for tracking it because they want to hold themselves accountable. They're texting me that, their day got messed up and here's what they did and, how can they, have snacks, and they're texting in the group chat asking for snack recommendations. People that are communicating, my clients that are communicating with me, with our other team members, those are the clients that are incredibly successful because they are holding themselves accountable and they are communicating. And this doesn't just stop at like fitness and nutrition help, okay? My clients that are messaging me that they, had a fight with their spouse and they want to talk to me about it, that they had a bad day at work and they're telling me about their bad day at work. They're telling me these things because, first of all, we need to work through the mindset of that. Like, what is the reaction that's happening both internally and externally to our bodies? And how is that affecting us? Do we need to skip an exercise session? Do we need to kind of change things up just so you can have a little bit more fun during that exercise session? What is it that we need to do based on these things and these events that kind of happen to you? And how do we transition that to make sure that we are still sticking to the plan in a safe way? Communication is vital. And honestly, my clients that are communicating with me and each other are the most successful clients that I have, because they're not just left to their own devices all the time. They're actually using the support that they're paying for and messaging me. And it makes me feel closer to them and it makes them feel closer to me. And it's just how we are just incredibly successful, because the amount of support that you get inside of the program is endless. And even when I go on vacation and things like that, we always check in once a day, making sure that we are staying on top of things. Like, it is so incredibly important to me that my clients have the option to communicate with me as often as they want. These are the main things that my most successful clients are doing right now. Steps, movement goals, drinking their water, sleeping, eating adequate amounts of fiber, exercising according to the plan, and communication. So, top 6 things. And that last key component of communication and things going wrong in your life and things happening, this is kind of a transition into our next topic. Because when things happen in your life and you allow that to dictate now what you're eating or whether you exercise or how you're tracking your food or whatever else happens inside of your fitness journey, when you put into practice that you are not going to allow that stuff to dictate the rest of your day or take control over you and you're going to take control over it, that's when you know that your mindset is shifting. Okay. I just had a client actually tell me on their check-in that they had a really hard day at work and they had a strawberry milkshake. But at this point in their journey, they know that they could have gotten the same satisfaction off of making a strawberry smoothie rather than having a strawberry milkshake. They would have felt that same satisfaction and it would have been better for them overall because now they're feeling just lousy from having a strawberry milkshake that they didn't really want anyway, right? Like, they didn't really want it. They just wanted some sort of comfort. And to be honest, it didn't offer them that comfort. So now they're just feeling double lousy. So when we talk about things that happen to us, right? Like, I alluded to a lot of things that have happened in my life and things that I have been through. And I have the option to just be an asshole, just be a total dick weasel about things that happen and just be like, you know what, this is me. I reserve the right to be upset about this because of X, Y, and Z that's happened to me, blah, blah, blah. I am not that person and I will never, ever be that person because, like we talked about a couple episodes ago, I'm constantly looking to grow and develop as a human being and just be a better person. And if I allow situations that have happened to me in the past make me, just this person that's allowing a situation to control who I choose to become, then that is not someone that's growing and becoming a better person, obviously. So when situations happen to you, you have the control and the ability to respond however you want. You can allow a situation to dictate who you become and what kind of person you choose to become, or you can choose to be a better human being. If something were to happen to you and someone else was seeing success over something that happened to you, or someone else, maybe someone you dated. Okay, let's just use concrete examples. Maybe someone you dated, it didn't go well. They treated you like crap. It was a terrible relationship. And now you treat other people who have similar tendencies or whatever it is like crap because you just assume that they are a bad person, or you're just so jaded off of the situation that you have had that when when one of your friends starts dating someone new, you're like, ooh, no, like, this isn't gonna work, etc. Or someone else starts dating that person and you are just like wishing that bad things happen to them because you know that they're not a good person and they treated you poorly. Like, all of these things, this is how you can choose to respond. You can choose to be the vindictive person and the person that's not happy for people because of a situation that you encountered, or you can be happy when things are working out for people and be supportive of them moving forward with something and be, hope for the best for them and be that person that is rooting for them, but is there to console them should something go wrong. Hopefully it doesn't. You cannot take the things that have happened to you in life and allow that to dictate the person you become in a negative way. What you should do is you should take that experience, whatever is bothering you, you should take that experience and you should allow that to propel you to understand why that happened whether it's not your fault or it is your fault, doesn't really matter. How did that happen? Why did that happen? What are you taking away from that experience? Like, what negative things came from that? What positive things came from that? How are you now going to transition so that something like that doesn't happen again? So you're not so jaded or angry about it. How can you use that experience to now put good back in the world? Because if you just constantly take something and you just decide to say negative about it, and you decide to be negative towards other people, you're going to be really difficult to be around for other people, but also it's going to be really miserable and lonely for yourself. And I know this firsthand. Okay. There have been situations that have happened and I've kept them inside and I've been really jaded and, super upset and volatile to be around, especially around the humans that this kind of happened around. Okay. And then I just decided, I was like, I have the choice. I have the choice to put myself in these situations and continue to be volatile and not be able to heal from what happened and make them and me miserable. Or I can take a step back from the situation, offer my apologies for anything that I did that added to that, and then just walk away and say, you know what? That sucks, but I'm just going to make sure that I don't make anyone feel like that moving forward. And I sincerely hope that those people get to a place where they're not treating me or anyone else like that. And when we can have a constructive conversation about it, great. But until that point, I'm just going to walk away. That makes me feel less jaded. It makes me less volatile around them and other people when situations like that arise. And it makes it easier to deal with when, maybe somebody else is acting in that same way. But on the other hand, I also had a situation where I had an abusive ex. And rather than being like, this crappy situation happened to me, I can be a bad person or whatever, or even ill will on him or his future, whoever. No, I walked away from that situation. I was like, you know what? It really sucks that that happened to me. I'm never going to speak to that person or be near them again. But that person actually did end up reaching out to me. And my response, because I was like, I am unwilling to allow this human to change who I am to my core. When that person reached out to me, I responded to them, letting them know that I know that there was a situation they were going through, that if they felt like couldn't talk to anyone but me about it, I would be happy to be there. But the relationship part of it, that part was over, and I was unwilling to have any further communication about that. I left that feeling really empowered because I didn't let them affect me or who I am. I am the person that is there for people, and I was still willing to be there for that person. And I was really proud of that situation. And this person is now in a new relationship, and people have told me I should message and make sure the person that they're with is okay. First of all, it's not my place. Second of all, I don't need to bring any negativity to that relationship, especially if there isn't any. If there is only positive and they are happy together, then that should be what it is. And I should be happy that he's no longer doing that to somebody. And if she doesn't know about those things, then it is not my place to reach out and say, hey, this happened to me. Is it happening to you? I just am unwilling to do that. I just want happiness for these individuals. And I hope that just really good things are coming out of that and people are happy. And if I allowed me looking at that and being like, oh, how did he get happy before me or whatever, that would make me a really crappy person, in my opinion. Like, I just don't want to be that way. And so I round it back to whatever you go through, whatever situations happen to you, you are in control of your response to them. And if you choose to just be negative and jaded, you're going to find yourself feeling more and more stressed and just an unhealthy relationship with yourself. But if you choose to work on healing from that situation and you continue to choose to treat people with respect and kindness and be true to who you are and move forward, you are going to find a lot of freedom in your life. A lot of freedom. And honestly, the discipline that you get from fitness and nutrition and being able to put that into practice and not allowing yourself to be controlled by emotions and food or peer pressure with alcohol and food and whatever it is, the more you can put that into practice in small things like fitness and nutrition, the easier it's going to become in your everyday life when bigger things happen, because you already instilled the discipline in yourself to move forward and just know that it doesn't have to control you. You can take all of that and be able to apply it to these situations too. I'm not really good at this whole ending of the podcast, but that's all I got for you guys. So I really hope that these 6 best practices that my clients are doing today have really helped you. And I hope that you have gotten some insight and some ability to see how you are in the driver's seat and you can control your situations moving forward. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. The free fat loss guide is in the show notes here for you if you want to figure out what exactly type of prescription you need for these 6 steps. You can fill that out, and I would be happy to chat with you. But until then, I'll catch you next week.